Hey, I'm Insulin Junkie,
And this is Bert Zissou.
and you're listening to Welcome to Die Radio.
Welcome to die.
So today our episode is about Megaman.
Megaman.
Megaman. His name was Rockman apparently, and in Japan, and they changed it to Megaman because they didn't think anybody would get it.
Which is weird because we live in America where rock and roll is more relevant.
Which
than
roll is his
Japan.
sister's name. And then there's treble and bass, so there's clearly a reoccurring theme here.
It sounds like something that would just be coming out of Memphis. Rock and roll, treble
Rock
and
and roll,
bass.
treble and bass. So first I wanted to talk about the background story, so I'm going to let Bert do that because I've literally just started playing Mega Man within like this past year.
So basically the background is Dr. Light and Dr. Wily co-create a bunch of robots that are supposed to help the world, I guess. You know, Cuts Man would cut down forests, Guts Man. What would he do? He's a gut.
Lift a truck.
Iceman could search for resources in the Arctic. Bomb Man just I guess bombs things for cave diving. They create all these robots, and Dr. Wily just kind of gets pissed because Dr. Light gets all the recognition for it, so he takes them all and reprograms them to destroy the world instead of help it. Thus, Dr. Light sends Mega Man on his quest to take them all down.
Which, by the way, what stops Dr. Wily from just reprogramming Mega Man?
Exactly.
If he gets captured, y'all are screwed.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And that's pretty much the story for all of the Mega Mans, basically. It's like, oh, Wily,
Technically, it's all Dr. Light's fault. He's the one who's making all these machines to get. Why not just?
He's supposed to be a genius too, but
machines are taking our jobs.
They took our jobs.
So So moving on to gameplay, I felt like this game was extremely
hard, especially the first one.
I wouldn't even say hard. I mean, like, the gameplay was.
It's easy to pick up, but
I
there's
feel
just
like it was
certain spots where you just feel like you just get screwed. Like you're just like, what? It's more like a learning curve.
Yeah,
like you just had to do it.
Part of the times, like, sometimes, like, I would get shot, and, like, I hate getting shot and you, like, fly back because I'll, like, fly off this platform. Or there are times, like, that you're going to be able to see in the video clips that I'm playing where I got shot and just phased completely through a platform. What?
One shot can't touch this, and you just.
It's like I start blinking, and that obviously means my atoms can just fall through solid objects.
Hey, you're in Robotropolis or Monsteropolis, so anything is possible.
It just didn't. There were times where what was it? I think it was Guts Man, where you had to like time it. There were like 3 sections of platforms, and then they would like fall at certain times, and I lost more lives on that than.
I want to say the most time I lost lives was, I think, Iceman's. It had the appearing and reappearing platforms. I just couldn't get it.
Dude, I did
the
the power up where you could make your own platforms. I was like, screw these.
Yeah.
And just like hopped up them because I was like, I'm sick and tired of like trying to memorize what.
And there's a part where if you miss it, you're dead. Just straight up dead. You just fall down a pit. It's like, well, sweet. I'm screwed. That and the rock monster.
I'm just glad you get infinite continues in this because I feel like they know that this game is extremely difficult.
Which is another reason why I don't see why it's on the top 10.
But I would say it's fair. Like, this is a fair video game if you look at like all the NES games that were made. Like at least you get, lives, continues, all that, and you don't have to go all the way to the beginning.
Yeah. And it'll say game over, but you literally start
right back
same
where you
level.
were. But that's okay. There were times where I had to walk away. Like, I beat this game in 2 days, which isn't bad, but definitely could have finished it sooner if I wanted to.
Did you wish Mega Man would just pop Dr. Wily with a lightning bolt after he left?
Well, it's funny because like I beat the second one before I beat the first one on my 3DS, and the second one it's like Mega Man got like real crazy serious. He's like, I should have done this a long time ago, like threatening to kill him. So I'm expecting like this huge dramatic dialogue at the end of Mega Man 1, but he just like walks away fresh and clean, and Mega Man just like watches him.
He's like Batman.
Whoa, dude. Just let him walk away, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I like the gameplay a lot. But if I had to say anything about this game, I feel like you couldn't cheat it. Like, you cannot cheat this game. Like, this game has to take
There's
skill.
one cheat you can do. In the Rock Monster, if you have a controller that has like a little, you hit the button and it keeps pausing and unpausing the game, you shoot your electric bolt at the Rock Monster and hit that, the lightning bolt will almost kill him in one shot because you keep pausing and unpausing the game.
Have you done that?
Yeah, I did it once. One time, but I did beat it
I
without
actually
doing
got
that.
so good at the Rock Monster that which I regret not having.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I recorded it like the first couple times I died, and actually like the first time I finally killed him, I only got hit once. Like, I memorized his pattern and everything.
That's impressive.
And I was like, dude, this is awesome. And then went to church, came back home, and was like ready to put it all together. And then it was like, this gameplay is not here. It was there, but it only recorded a black screen. So I was like, that's interesting.
The lost footage that everyone wants to see.
I know. I'll do a perfect run through one day.
Oh my god. Perfect
Alright.
run through of Mega Man 1.
Perfect run through, no touches.
Can upload my Contra one.
Oh yeah, dude, we need to do Contra. Benny and Jimmy.
That's Double Dragon.
Whatever. They're brothers. Alright, so difficulty. So what would you rank this on difficulty on a scale of 1 to 10?
Since it has the infinite lives, I would a 6. I mean, it has its hard parts, but it's not the type where you lose and you're like, oh crap, I need to start completely over. You just always get your retry, so it's
right. Well, especially like, I don't think this game isn't like, I don't think it's hard by any means. I
not
would
as
say,
bad
like
as
I
people
said,
made it
I
out
think
to
it would
be.
be challenging, but overall, this thing is just annoying. It's not hard. It's just like little things like I said, like phasing through a platform that doesn't make any sense, or like when you're trying to climb a ladder and those flying things will just swoop down and like attack you, and I just can't get up the ladder. So like, there's nothing even like there. There's no cliffs or anything. They're not gonna knock me off. I just have to climb this ladder because there's a huge wall.
And the worst is when you fall down the ladder and go to the next screen and you come back up, they're all there again.
They're all there.
Every enemy is back. Like, oh,
It's just
sweet.
ridiculous. I can't even get. I actually have footage of me like trying to just get up a ladder, and I get knocked down 4 or 5 times where it's just like I can't get up the ladder because this thing is just there, and so I like start freaking out and just like trying to shoot them all, and I can't even shoot them because they're all like flying around. It's ridiculous.
I think what I got for those parts was Electric Man, since his weapons go in 4 directions, and you're going up the ladder, you can just shoot it and it'll go straight up the ladder and kill whatever's above you.
I didn't like the last level. Like after you defeat Rockman, you have to like kill all the old villains. Like
That's
the ones
a
that you did.
signature Mega Man.
Well,
thing.
it's like it bothered me because it wasn't like one after another after another. It's like you kill one and then you play out through a whole level. So I killed like the first, like I think they give you like 3, and then once you've killed the first 3, it lets you play almost like throughout a whole level. And then it's like, oh, well, I guess they only wanted to challenge me the first 3. And then it's like, oh, and then here's the other 3. And then I'm like, okay, well, you know, that's fair, whatever. And then it's like, oh, and you have to fight a clone of yourself, which, by the way, was annoying. And then it was like, here's Dr. Wily, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm on my last life by the end of all this boss fighting, and it's going to kill me, and then I'm going to have to go all the way back to the beginning and do this over again. Come to see that Dr. Wily was the easiest dude to fight.
Yeah. Rockman should have been the boss. What I never got about Mega Man is, why do you have to refight all the bosses? I mean, do you not
I
you
know.
literally
Didn't
see
you
them
finish
destroy?
them?
They explode at the end. You absorb their
Well, if he has
powers,
the
so
power
what
to
do they
clone
have?
Mega Man, I guess he can just clone the rest of them.
I guess.
I
I
made
mean,
2
if
just
that,
in
just
case.
clone everything. Just have like
I know,
an
really. Like, why not just
onslaught.
have a letter or a level where it's just like 12 bosses?
So remember when I first played Mega Man, I saw I had to refight someone. I was like, I'm pretty sure I saw him explode, and then I took his power. Why am I refighting this guy?
All right, so next we're gonna talk about dim graphics.
The graphics.
Dim graphics. So graphics were pretty good for NES. I thought like a lot of times you can't even see like facial features or whatever.
Especially for the first game. I mean,
Yeah,
as you get to like the 6th and 7th one, you're like, I think, does it go all the way up to 7 on the NES, or is that?
I think it's 10.
No. Well, they redid on the Xbox Arcade, but I think 8 is PlayStation. Or,
No, that is right. 8
Or
is
Super
PlayStation.
Nintendo, and then 9 is PlayStation.
No, for Super Nintendo they remade all like the NES ones with better graphics.
Y'all can tell us in the comments if we're messing this up.
Yeah, the internet will autocorrect.
Either way, the graphics just seemed like, for the first game it was perfect, and they just got recycled, and then people can start complaining about it. But for what it is, it's great.
It's interesting that the creator, what's his name? I can't even see it.
Kaiji Inafune.
Itoi?
No, he looks like Megaman 10. That's the artist, so yeah, that would be the dude that was.
But he created it. He started at like 22 or something when he created this game.
God.
But so he's like the soul. He was like the artist and the musician and everything. Like he did this whole game from like the bottom up. But he even said that Mega Man wasn't really meant to be blue. He just wanted the game to look like it was extremely detailed. And from a 57 color palette, blue was the most colors that they had, so that's just what he used. It wasn't that he wanted it to be the blue bomber. That's just what happened to fall in his lap because, he just wanted it to look good, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. It was at least considerate.
It's just different shades of blue. That was a dark blue for the gun, just light blue for his suit, dark blue helmet.
Right. And then he had like a light blue square on his helmet for some reason. I guess that was his computer processor.
Probably. That's what they use to clone him.
And then, like I said, he wanted this to have like a theme to relate to everybody, which was music. Obviously, you have rock and roll, treble and bass. Then you have so that like perfectly flows into like the music of this. This had like some of the best music on the Nintendo. Period.
Was it this one or the one for the Game Boy that had almost it was like a Bon Jovi? It was the exact. So I was like, da, na, na, na,
I think that was the Game Boy one.
Like that song. I want to say it was on the first one too.
I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to my favorite music in a Mega Man is 2. Even the intro where you hit start.
It goes up the building. It's awesome.
I love Mega Man. Mega Man 2 I can see why is a favorite, but honestly I would put Mega Man 1 in front of 2 now because of Rockman, because that's like the hardest part, and then once like I've had such an accomplishment feeling like I finally memorized his pattern.
Rockman is definitely the pinnacle of where all your skills have to come into play.
Well, it's like funny is I still remember it. You only have to count the first 2 rows because those are the only ones that are gonna hit you. So he shoots one first that's all the way at your feet, and then one at your head, and then one at your feet again, and then he shoots. So I always had to count them. So he would shoot 3, and then he would shoot one at your foot and head at the same time. So you had to double jump both of those, which was pretty hard. And then he would do one at your head and then one at your feet, and then you were home free. And
I must sound retarded. Can you double jump in Mega Man 1?
you can't double jump, but I'm saying you had to jump both of them.
Oh, okay, okay.
You had, because like some of them, like all you had to do was stand pretty far away and just jump. But when the double one came, you almost had to run towards the first one and just barely jump over it, skim it.
Just do it quick.
Yeah. But there were times where the only thing that bugged me about Rockman is I feel like I could have done so much better if they didn't make him so close. Like I felt like
more space.
when they threw him from side to side, and I felt like as I was jumping, sometimes I would jump into where he was rebuilding himself, and that would hurt me sometimes. And I was like, oh well, that's lame. Like
just remember your first time.
If he was just like a couple centimeters over, like I would have enough space. But
just remember your first time fighting him. You're in a room, there's nothing there, and all of a sudden this thing just starts building itself. You're like,
I didn't like at the first place. I was expecting him to just like flow from the ceiling. I remember you telling me but he just comes straight out of the wall. Like,
and then when you fight him, you don't think he's gonna do that again.
The first time you're gonna die. There's no if you can beat Rockman first try ever seeing him, then you deserve
more power to you.
You deserve a trophy.
You were the NES guy.
Nintendo power.
Because even when he does rebuild himself, you start shooting his eye, and you don't think he's gonna do that again, but then he starts building himself again. You're like, oh
well,
my
it's like
god,
ridiculous if you miss his eye.
you're
then
screwed.
yeah,
You just wasted your time right there.
Yeah, you definitely need the electricity because it zigzags.
Because in my case, it's almost you're guaranteed to get hit.
The first thing I do as soon as like the last block morphs with him, even before he opens his eyes, I'll just jump, turn around real fast, and shoot. Like it's bound to hit him. Like I gotta hit that dude because if I don't, I'm screwed.
Yeah, and his eye's only there for maybe a second
he shoots
or two.
one little bleep, which is the size of your normal arm cannon, but does like 3 times the damage.
That's what I always
So
hate
it's
about
like-
that too. Like
It's
Mega Man
the
does
same
so little
size.
damage. Yeah.
I do like, however, that something that I do want to like go back to, like you had the arm cannon that in like some games the enemies can phase through the walls and crap, and then like your weapon cannot.
Your arm cannon usually can.
Yeah, but your arm cannon can in this game, which is what I was saying. Something I like because a lot of times when enemies can fly through a wall and hit me, and I'm like, I can't even shoot it through a wall. Like that's not even. But this game allows you to do that, which I actually wanted to say.
I got hit one time on that. I was in a ladder, and there was I think it was Gutsman's level, but there was just a brick wall in front of me, and I saw an enemy flying. I was like, cool, he's not gonna be able to touch me. Right through the wall, and he just nails me. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Well, there's even things like in the Silver Surfer, where it's like enemies can fly through the walls, but you can't shoot through the walls. That would bug the ever living crap out of me, which is why it's number 1.
And which is why we will upload me beating that game because I did it. No emulator, straight NES. I had the NES Advantage controller. I owned it.
He's so proud of it. I have tried that game on an emulator and I still couldn't do it. And so I said, screw this game. I'm never gonna beat it. I'll beat the first 9, but I will not beat number 1 because I don't think it's possible.
I'm still working on Battletoads, but it keeps freezing.
Well, Battletoads, you have to play with 2 people in order to beat it.
No.
That was the reason it was the hardest.
No, it's the hardest just for just one person by himself. It's really hard. Oh, believe it, try it.
I bet it's just like
Once you get to the jet ski level or whatever, where you're like, it's not really a jet ski. You're on a jet ski, but you're on a rock platform. It's weird. But
rock ski.
Yeah, rock ski. That is the hard part. Like you keep smashing into walls. You keep missing the
I think
ramps.
my uncle has a rock ski.
Really?
Yeah, it's just solid rock. It has jets on it. So last but not least, we're gonna talk about controls. Then we're gonna talk about if we recommend it, and then give it our welcome to die score.
Or Magneto score.
our Magneto score of the week. So controls were awesome.
Yeah.
I never had a problem with the controls.
Not once.
Everything seemed fair, and everything was pretty much made sense. And going back by everything made sense. Even fighting the bosses, it was he even said that the creator said he based it off of like a rock paper scissors system. So it's like the first character that you choose to fight or the first level that you choose to do basically plans out the rest of your game, because whatever you go for first, you were gonna use that power on the next boss, which I thought was awesome.
And has a ton of replay value because of
Oh
that.
yeah, and it's not even that long of a game. Like I said, it took me 2 days, but in my defense, I did start at like 11 o'clock and played till like 2, and then woke up the next morning and beat it around noon. But it wasn't bad. But like I said, controls are really cool. Just A is jump, B is shoot. Climbing ladders is up. It's just like everything makes sense. Using your powers. You just press start, choose power. Everything works pretty well.
Well, I think kind of confusing. Really has nothing to do with the original game because it was the first of its kind. But if you played the later ones and you get this, you have the slide ability. I kept trying to do that out of nowhere. In the first one, I would just run into an enemy. He would jump over me, but I would try to slide underneath him. It's like, oh yeah, that's not in this game. I just ran right into him like an idiot.
I didn't even know they had this, because they didn't even
I think
have that in 2.
Third one is where it started to slide.
Well, they're gonna be putting Megaman in the new Smash Brothers,
Oh, nice.
which is gonna be cool. Which Bert is a noob scooper at, so I'm gonna have to school him in that. So finally, the last 2 categories of our show is would we recommend this? Yes or no, Bert?
Oh yeah, I mean you have to play Mega Man. If not the first one, any of them, they're all just fun. Especially when you get to the X series, they're so much more intricate.
We even saw in a local game store here, we saw a Mega Man X that went for $100.95.
I bet it's still there. I bet it's still there.
Who's gonna buy that? So it comes in there, I want that game.
Nuh-uh.
Throw down a bill.
Did they?
I think so.
Oh my god.
Someone's gotta. I mean, even I didn't even know what it was, and I was like, oh man, I want it just because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Like it's gotta be that good.
I can't think of any of the X games that are actually worth
Mega Man X3.
Is it really worth $100?
I mean, I don't know. I've never played a Mega Man X3. Literally, the only 2 games I played in Mega Man are Mega Man 1 and 2.
Dude, some of the X games are really badass, but was it in a box? Or
No, it wasn't even in a box. It was just the cartridge.
Hell no.
I even talked to the guy and I was like, "Well, how much did you even pay for that?" And he was like, $30.
You think you're gonna sell
and
it for
you're selling
100?
it for $100. I was just like, I mean, somebody's gotta make money.
Because I've seen Final Fantasy VII, with the
$70.
$70.
I bought
yeah.
my Final Fantasy set, and Blake bought his Blake is my brother. Blake brought his, which we should have on the show somehow.
Yeah.
But Blake bought his case cracked, and it didn't have the manual and stuff, and that was still $70. I bought mine super pristine condition, great case, had the manual in it, all the CDs, they rebuffered it for me, so it's it runs completely smooth, and it was still $70.
The most expensive Super Nintendo game I've seen without a box or anything is when I go to My Games Plus, is one of the stores we have in here in Memphis. It was a Mario RPG, and that usually runs anywhere from $60 to $80. I couldn't imagine dropping $100.
I'm trying to find, hey viewers, if you all want to donate your Earthbounds to me, I've been playing that on an emulator, but I really want the cartridge to keep all my saves and stuff on. But Earthbound is running $1,000 on Amazon, and then on eBay it's 180 bid war, and I'm like, dude. I don't even know.
Maybe birthday present.
Yeah, for real. I got I'm an Earthbound Zero, which I don't even want to get into that. That's a whole new anyway,
podcast.
For me, recommend this game, yes or no? I would say yes and no. No, because I don't have any hardcore gamer friends besides Bert, which is why he's doing this podcast with me. And yes, because it is a great game. I love it, but like I said, I don't think anybody's really up to even fighting Rockman. I don't think anybody can even
It's a good point that you did make, because the modern gamers, they don't appreciate challenges like this. They're used to your Xbox 360, PS3,
Right.
all those games. So if you are just a casual gamer, it's definitely probably not for you. It's a little, you'll probably break your controller.
Have you broken your controller to this one?
Not Mega Man.
Not Mega Man.
No. Silver Surfer, I broke a controller. Literally just snapped it in half in my hands. I was
Were
so...
you crap?
Yeah, I snapped it and I was like, shit.
It's always the aftermath of you breaking something.
You feel good that point second you do it, and then afterwards you're like, now I can't play the freaking game.
Now we can't play no more.
That's, yeah.
Sandlot. Now we can't play no more.
Sandlot.
So, but that's, even in a podcast that I started with Mainstream Shaquille before this one, which was called, what was it? Fill in the Blank Radio.
Fill in the blank, yeah.
We talked about old versus new games, the difference between them. And it's just gamers today are just extremely given. They're given everything. Save points every 10 seconds. Everything is just given to them.
Sometimes you actually get in the original Halo, I love Halo, but I would die, but it would put me in a spot ahead of where I died, where I didn't even have to do what I think it was in the library where we had to fight the flood. I died, and it skipped me ahead. I was like, okay,
yeah,
all right, whatever.
Everything's given to a new gamer, but so to close up, our Magneto score of the week. What is it? 1 out of 10.
Original Mega Man, I give it an 8.
Original Mega Man, nothing more.
8.
8?
8.
I give it a 7.5.
Oh, we were close.
It was pretty good. The only reason I give it such a low score is just because extremely repetitive, and the whole last level just ruins it for me. If they did Rockman which is already, or Rock Monster or whatever. Like
Just have
Mega
Wily
Man,
controlling
Rockman,
him,
whatever. Or if you did the Rock Monster and then the clone Mega Man and then Wily just back to back, I would enjoy that because it's just like boss-a-thon craziness. I feel like that's awesome. But no, they didn't do that. They did boss, then almost an entire level, boss, almost an entire level, boss, a little bit, clone Mega Man, a little bit of a level, then Wily, and then I was just like, that's just...
I think they did fix that in the later ones. Later ones, it is like a boss-a-thon and then Wily. You fight all the bosses.
That's how it should be, because it's just like, you're putting so much gap to fail. Like, there's parts of the level, like I said, where there's platforms that even shoot at you diagonally. I'm like, this is retarded.
And this is before, you could buy E-Tank meters. Like, you didn't have that. You had them in the game, but you couldn't buy one and use them at your will like you can in later Mega Man games. I think Mega Man 4 maybe started that, where you had like a shop you could buy an E-Tank meter. So you can go through that boss-a-thon, take a few hits, and just like hit start, use your meter, fill your life back up, and then continue fighting. And you can't do that in Mega Man 1. You just have to rely on either there's one there, or an enemy drops it, or I think there's a spot you can like leave the screen, go down, kill an enemy, just keep spamming it until you get your life refilled off E-Tank meters.
So that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, which is welcome2die radio. Also, our email is the exact same at gmail.com. And you can download just the audio at iTunes or at our website, which is welcome2die radio.blogspot.com. Thank you. Hit the subscribe button if you like us, and always open to suggestions. And see you next time.